Hey everybody, how you doing? It's your boy Halucha Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee, and I'm here with the Raw review. Just watched Raw a couple hours ago, and I am going to have my take on it. I'm going to give my grade. We're going to talk about what happened today on Raw. Uh, as always, I got my handy dandy notebook, but this time, actually, I took less notes actually. And for this, I'm just gonna pretty much give a brief um, summary about Raw instead of giving you what happened move for move, like with wrestling, like the wrestling stuff. I'll just give you instead of giving you like move, like oh she hit a twisting arm neck breaker followed by this and this and that that I normally do. I'm just gonna give like a brief overview of what I thought about Raw in each segment, and so yeah. So before I get into it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, uh, hit that notify bell, and we're gonna get up into this thing because I'm still not editing, but I am doing my edits. My video, my thumbnails are getting top tier out here. So first thing that happens is so Mojo's in the ring, and he is doing the contract signing between Dominik Mysterio and Seth Rollins. They opened up the show, and we learned that not only is Dominik doing a contract against Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, he is also signing his WWE contract. So Dominik is officially a member of the WWE roster, which is probably something that Rey Mysterio wanted, which probably means that Rey Mysterio's eye is now 100%. So Samoa Joe is out there, and he was just saying, he started off by saying that pretty much there's some things that I want to say, to things I want to do to this one man, but I was informed that if I get physical or anything, I will be fired or suspended or something like that because he's not medically cleared. So he's going to keep his comments to himself, and then he welcomes. Seth Rollins comes out, and then he was pretty much saying that the man that he hopes murders Seth Rollins. I'm paraphrasing. Comes out and it's Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio comes out with some nice theme music, low key. He comes out with a candlestick in hand, and Seth Rollins, is telling us like, "Oh, you call this guy a man, but what kind of man walks out with like a candlestick and stuff like that?" He passes the candlestick to Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe just runs down him and Seth were talking shooting at the hip, as they say. Pretty much just saying, Samoa Joe was like, yeah, I missed the Seth freaking Rollins. That's the guy who I like, the one who's considered the best wrestler of our generation, Seth freaking Rollins. But I don't see Seth Rollins. I see a guy who just because he got booed a couple of times. Now all of a sudden he's all up in his feelings, and he decided to do this whole Monday Night Messiah garbage and stuff like that. And Seth Rollins is like, "Oh yeah, no, it's not." He was like, "Yeah, you're right. I used to be Seth freaking Rollins." And then I tried to do everything for the fans, and the fans turned their back on me. And so I decided to turn my back on them. So they're pretty much discussing the whole Fiend thing and the whole when he put his foot in his mouth with the whole I make more money than you Will Ospreay thing. They kind of hinted at it like that and portrayed him as the bad guy. So he was like, okay, you want me to be a bad guy? Then I'll be a bad guy. So they pretty much, they sort of hinted at that. And so Seth Rollins was just like, yeah, and I gave, and so Samoa Joe's like, you didn't give this man an option that now he has to fight you and stuff like that. And Seth Rollins was like, no, I did give him an option. I gave everybody an option. I gave Aleister Black an option. I gave Rey Mysterio options, and I gave everybody here options, and and they all decided that they didn't want to be part of the greater good, so I had to take them out, all this other stuff. And then Dominic was like, "Yeah, you're right. You are the reason why I'm wrestling. I do, and now I'm gonna be the reason why your ass gets kicked at SummerSlam or something like that. Paraphrasing. And oh, look at the edit I just did. I saw that edit. I just did that by myself. I didn't kick the laptop. But then after that, Seth Rollins goes on another tangent and says that nobody listens, and he says, "Congratulations, you got your contract, but now you can get out my ring and learn, learn rookie. He's doing the rookie thing. It's like you go out there and you watch me beat up Humberto Carrillo. Humberto Carrillo comes out and he beats up Humberto Carrillo. Pretty much that's what happens. Um, the match was really nothing. Like they got in, like Humberto got like a couple of good stuff in, but Murphy tries to get involved. Dominic grabs a kendo stick, pops, like sweeps Murphy with it, and then Humberto tries to get like a quick one on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins like kicks out at two from a roll up, I think, and then he pretty much like lays him out. Like he hits him with I think a power bomb. Oh yeah, it was like how he normally tries to do like buckle bomb, but he just like power bombs him, picks him up, curb stomp, and 1, 2, 3 is over. And then he goes in and they start beating up Dominic Mysterio, start beating him with a brutally like Passion of the Christ esque type beating my boy Dominic over with a kendo stick. He was woo. Now you can tell that's my thumbnail. What happened to his back? It was all over his stomach and his back. He ripped his shaw off and popping him with the kendo stick. He was merciless. He was spanking him, and the whole time Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton was saying how despicable it is. And Samoa Joe was silent the whole time while they were just Passion of the Christ beating him down with the kendo stick. He went in the ring. He was, oh, what is this? More kendo sticks. He threw him in the ring. And then he was beating him from the front while Murphy was popping him in the back with the kendo sticks. Hey, props to Dominic. Man. He earned them stripes. And I suspect that they're going to have Murphy versus Dominic next week before they do Dominic versus Seth Rollins, so he can get his like first official match, his first official win. Probably be like he gets beat up or he gets a couple of moves in, he gets beat up, and then maybe surprise roll up and he beats Murphy. That's what I'm expecting if they have that one-on-one match next week before he gets beat up by Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Um, Next up, they have Retribution stuff, but I'll talk about Retribution later. Retribution. Then after that, we have Angelo Dawkins versus Andrade. Um, Everybody still think it was Zelina. I don't think it was Zelina. I think it was actually somebody else. I think they're gonna swerve us, and it's gonna be like some other team. Maybe it's gonna be like Retribution, some other team that might. I feel like maybe it could be either Retribution, maybe it could be the. I was gonna say Street Profits. It could be like maybe the Viking Raiders. Maybe they're the anything you could do, we could do better. Maybe they were like friends, but then maybe like deep down they were mad that they actually beat them for the to retain the titles or something like that. I don't know, but I don't think it was Zelina, and I think it's going to be interesting. But they're having a match. They have a match, pretty good stuff. Zelina tries to get involved, and Bianca runs out. She slings her face on a apron. Um, Andrade gets distracted. Our boy hits the sky high. D'Lo Brown style. Shout out to him for the win. And then Bianca Belair is going off on her. She's yelling at her. Angel Garza's on the side. He's trying to back her. He's like, "What you gonna do? What you gonna do?" And he throws her in the ring. And then commercial comes back, and then they have a match. Uh, Good stuff. They have some good stuff that was in there. It was a little sloppy, but Selena Vega hasn't wrestled probably she doesn't wrestle often, even though I know she does. She is a wrestler. She does wrestle. She wrestled in TNA. I think Rosita. I think Rosita. I think she was Rosita, and she was like tag team champions at like 20. So I know she can wrestle, and and there, she put in some. She had some good stuff in there that she was working on the shoulder, stuff like that. She was doing some hydraulics moves and stuff like that. So she was killing it. But in the end, it was Bianca Belair hit the KOD, the Kiss of Death, shout out J Cole, and she picks up the win. Then they do an interview where it's like, hey, is there really any evidence that she that it was Lena? She keeps denying that it wasn't her, stuff like that. She was like, we all know that was her. That it's obvious it was her, but it's not really obvious. Like the way she was saying it was like saying that, oh, it's really obvious it was her, but it's like you don't really have any proof. You're just saying it's obvious it was her just because they have a title match coming up. But we'll see what happens. Then after that, they have the hurt business. The hurt business stuff comes. MVP has his lounge, and he, as always, he's blaming everybody but himself for his loss against Apollo. He was like, "Oh no, you ain't beat me. The lights beat me." As a matter of fact, I think you're the one that's behind the lights and the whole light situation and stuff like that. He's like, oh, where the lights at now? Oh, you don't want to do the lights now? He's like, I dare you to come out. Apollo comes out. Apollo just says literally the same thing I just said. He's like, oh, what is this? You're out here blaming lights on your loss? It's like you think it's like you're saying it was the lights that made you lose. You said I'm the reason why the lights went off to cause you to lose your match. He says that's a joke. And he said, "There's one thing that you said. You say you don't care about my wife, or you don't care about my kids." It was like, okay, well, I don't care about Bobby Lashley. I don't care about Shelton Benjamin. I do care about you though. Uh, Talking all that stuff with my family, and I'm going to show you at SummerSlam what's what. And then he gets in the ring. Uh, I think he teases Bobby and Shelton. They get out the ring. And he slides in. He pops MVP, and then he picks up a big old heavy couch and then tosses out the ring. Big strength. So it's him versus Shelton Benjamin. We need more Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin should wrestle all the time. Shelton Benjamin should get all the wins because he deserves all the wins. And he got a win today. Bobby gets on the apron, distracts Apollo, rolls him up 1, 2, 3. Yas. Big dub for my boy Shelton Benjamin. Then Bobby Lashley's about to put him in the full Nelson. But MVP is like, no, 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 hold up. We don't want that to happen. I want this match. I want to win the United States Championship. I don't want him to make another excuse for him not to be there. So leave him a little healthy. And so Bobby does it. You're like, see, I'm a nice guy. And then he tries to fake him out, try to hit him. Pops him in the head, and then he hightails it out there. Good stuff. Mickey James is backstage. She had an announcement, I think. I think she had an announcement that she was going to say, but she never did it because Lana and Natalia come up, and Lana said that that Mickey James might be one of the best women wrestlers of all time, one of the best. But she said Natalia is the best. Um, I think Mickey James called Lana a bimbo on a low, like she didn't say it, but she implied that she was one. She was like, "Hey, look," she was like, "I can expect this." She was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I can expect this from Lana because she's Lana. You? Why you do this?" He's like, "You ruin your legacy and stuff like that." And then uh whatchamacallit, Natalia says that she's like the most winningest person, like women's wrestler. Like she has the most matches and most wins, and I was like, well, you've been there for the longest time. You have the most wins, but you only have one. No, you have what, a Divas Championship and a SmackDown Women's Championship to show for it, which is a shame because Natalia's really good and she should have more titles and more wins. But she was a Divas Champion and then for a little bit, and then she was SmackDown Women's Champion, and that was really it. But I also realized that Mickey James is a 6-time Women's Champion. That's OD. I didn't even realize that. Good for her. Um, 6-man tag match is about to happen. Ivar is very cute, and Eric not so much. Hilarious. 12-man tag. Oh, I said 6-man tag. 12-man tag. It's Viking Raiders and Two Fly Crew. I'm calling Two Fly Crew. Ricochet and Cedric versus the Ninjas and Tozawa. Double team moves to two of the ninjas. Tozawa's trying to get the other ninja to go in. The other ninja's like, we don't do that. So he gets Tozawa to get down there. They want no part of it. Viking experience. Boom. It's over. The ninjas calling down. He was either doing calling down a referee or he was doing the Hulk Hogan symbol. He was doing the Hulk Hogan, going like this. And then he turns it around. He's like referee. Rolls him up. One, two, three. Ninja's champion. Oh no, it's our truth. Ah. It was actually kind of funny, but that was the thing. Um, Ruby Riott comes out, and then Liv comes out. It's gonna be her and it's gonna be Liv Morgan versus Peyton Royce, which to me is like a yes because after that we get to see the her finishing move, which we did get to see. Billy Kay goes to distract um, Liv Morgan, or she's going to either distract her or try to attack her or something like that. So she gets on top of her apron, and then Ruby Riott gets on top of the apron, and then Peyton quickly gets down. And the referee didn't see Peyton. I mean, didn't see Billy Kay. I said Peyton. Didn't see Billy Kay. He saw my girl Ruby, and then Ruby's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "No, this it was And then she gets distracted, get popped in the gut, hits that great move. It's called the deja vu for the 1, 2, 3. So they got more development to do, which I'm all for. Uh, so next up, well they have a lot of stuff. They have Lucha Underground, they have the Raw Underground stuff, and they have the other stuff, the Retribution stuff that I really want to talk about. I'll talk about it after this. So Bailey versus Asuka. This match, best match of the night, of course, because Bailey and Asuka are great. Sasha Banks is great. This is why they're the main event. This is why they have all the gold. Bailey's so good, and so is Asuka. Oh, they just work so well together. They just work really good together. Yeah, I'll take all of this. They were even like, and Bailey was busting out some moves that either I haven't really seen her do at all, or she dig deep in for a lot of these moves. She did this one move on like the turnbuckle or on a turnbuckle. She had like uh Asuka wanted to do something and she like caught her and then she had like a back suplex or something like that. They were trading a lot of submission holds. Bailey did a nice heel hook, a pretty heel hook. She should use that as a finisher. That move was amazing. Yeah, that needs to be a move she should do. Um, Asuka was doing some ankle locks. Bailey was reversing those, and Asuka was re-reversing the heel hooks into pins into like ankle lock. Oh my! It was. If you did not see that match, guys, you that is like if you didn't see anything, like if you didn't watch Raw or you want to watch a match, if you can find the whole match, watch that match. That match was very good. Towards the end though, Bailey Bailey. Oh, I remember what happened. So this is why I get my notes because I forget sometimes. Uh, Oscar went to go. Oscar went to go wild on Sasha. She did hit a she hit a missile drop kick. Bailey hit an elbow and stuff like that. But Oscar went to go for a move, and Bailey hit that spinning back fist that Oscar normally does. She popped her with one of those spinning back fists and she was mocking Kairi Sane. She was doing the thing. She was about to do the sliding elbow thing that she normally does. And she went to run for. Oh, by the way, let me talk about this real quick before I get to that finish. Um, there's a part where Sasha's like sort of interfered, and Asuka is trying to get her to get down, and uh, Bailey or Asuka went to like kick um, Bailey in the face, but she jumped in the air and caught her, and that's when she hit that. When she used that heel hook. That thing was beautiful. It was so beautiful. Um, yeah, so beautiful. But anyways, But she tried to do that move. Asuka reverses it. She like jumps in the air, reverses it. Catch her with the Asuka lot. She taps. So Asuka is going to face Sasha Banks at SummerSlam. Oh my God, this match is going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Oh my God. It's gonna be so beautiful. All right, so let's get the bad part out of the way first. Retribution. Retribution. They show up twice. The first time they show up, they were talking about um, something about I think Retribution's in the back. Something about a cinder block or something like that. So they have a cinder block in their hand, and they was about to like throw it at the window, and like some ref or some security guy was like, "Hey, you guys need to leave," and then the guy from Retribution was like, "No, you need to leave," and the guy was just like, "Okay," and then he left, and then they threw a cinder block at the window, the glass window, and they celebrated, and then they ran away. Why? And then the second time, they flipped over a car. Great, big whoop. Why? Why are you wasting? If they would do that, this is what they should have did. Right? It was like, oh, he goes. They're about to throw the cinder block, right? They're about to throw the block, right? They'll be like, he was like, hey, you need to leave. You don't throw the cinder block. Blah 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 blah. They'd be like, they're like, okay, yeah, yeah. He drops the cinder block, pretends to leave, then grabs the security guard, throws him through then he throws them through the glass. You throw him through the glass. And then you go in there and you tear shit up. You don't freaking be like, no, you do it, and then you throw a block. So what was the point of you throwing the block just to prove a point? You're already on camera, you're getting caught, and when they figure out who you are, they're going to like fire all of you. So whatever. And then they flip the car over. Cool. Could be so good. It really can be so good, but then it's not. But let's get to the good part. Raw Underground. Raw Underground, yo, they're getting in there. Riddick Moss was in this thing, first of all. Riddick Moss was fighting some guy, and they was fighting all over the place. They were doing some grappling hooks. The other guy was like kind of like he was giving Riddick Moss a run for his money. They were like outside the ring. They were like banging each other through like the walls. They went back in, and then Riddick Moss raked the guy in the eye. And then he like punches him in the face, and he gets the elbows, knocks him out. That was the first one. The second one was Aroto Ruiz. Um he's on NXT. I low key thought he was in like AEW, but I might have been mistaken for somebody else. But he was on a thing, and he kicked the guy straight in the face. And I think I saw a Xavier Swerve's guy that was like anybody else. Or Xavier Swerve's guy was like, he was like NXT is that way. I'm going back this way. That was hilarious. And then the tall ninja guy, Dabba Kato, he was beating people, this one guy up, and then he grabbed he grabbed my man by the nuts, like full cup of nuts, like in his hand, going like that. Everybody was like, ooh. And then after that, he just socked him in his face, knocked him out, and then Shane McMahon goes, anybody else want some of him? And then Shayna Baszler comes up, stares straight at his face. It was like, "What's up? Square up with me." And then the tall ninja guy got on his face. He's like, "What you think? Like you can't do that?" It's like, "I'm not him. You ain't gonna do that to me." And then Shane told him to get out the ring, so he got out. He's like, anybody want to face Shayna Baszler? And then everybody was like, "Nah, not really." So she go. So Shayna basically just goes out, straight decks a guy right in the face, or decks a girl right in the face. It would have been nice if she would have decked a guy right in the face. She probably could have, and nobody would have done anything about it. But she decks a girl right in the face. She goes back in the ring. She throws her in the ring. This other girl comes in, and she tries. She beats her down, and this other girl's like, "Oh, you ain't gonna be doing that to her." She beats her down, and then the two girls try to get her at once. She's like, "No." She's raining elbows on people. She's popping people. She's tossing. She's beating three people up at once, and it was great. It was awesome. more Shayna Baszler. She needs to be on there all the time. There needs to be Shayna Baszler versus Asuka, and one of those matches, one of those underground matches would be fire. So final thing of this is, I don't know if they announced anything for next week. If they did, I didn't catch it. They could have possibly announced stuff for next week, but I didn't catch it. So, main event: Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. It's a solid match. It was shorter than I thought it was gonna be because it started at like 10:28 or something like that. I was like, oh wow, they're about to get this match some time. And then it ended at like 10:45, and I was like, oh, okay. But there's a lot of decent spots. There's a lot of chops, very very chop heavy, which we like those. Um, every time Kevin Owens would chop Randy Orton, he would look at Ric Flair. He'd be like, "Woo!" He'd do the strut and "Woo!" They chop each other. Orton did his backdrop thing on the announce table. He likes to do. He hits his cannonballs that he likes to do. So it was a good, nice, decent back and forth. But in the end, Kevin Owens, he slid it down sort of like Randy Orton does. And he's about to get him with a stunner, but reversal, RKO, 1, 2, 3, game over. So then after that, we still have 15 minutes. We're like, what's going on? Randy Orton gets a mic. He's like, hey, Rick, man, don't go nowhere, man. There's some stuff we need to talk about. We got to celebrate, whatever. So just stay with me. He's like, oh, of course, man, I got you. And then come back to commercial. And then Randy Orton is pretty much like, hey, I want to. He's like, I really want to be mad at you, Rick. I really do, but I can't because you're Ric Flair. Like I can't be. He was like, even though I really should be mad at you. I deserve, like you deserve for me to be mad at you, but I just can't because you're just Ric Flair. He was pretty much just saying your ego put me in this match against Kevin Owens. So all he had to do was, hey, I got my match with Drew McIntyre. All he did do is wait for SummerSlam, and boom, here I am going to be 14-time world champion. But no, your ego, you want to be in the spotlight. You just want to put me in a match against Kevin Owens for no reason. And you said, but hey, that's just who you are. That's your ego. That's just who you are. I can't get mad at you. Um, so then pretty much just talks about like what they like. He's saying like when they were younger, when like he just got into business, like he got into some trouble, like he always gets into trouble, and nobody was there to care about him except for Rick. He was like, "Hey, from that point, from then on, like not only were you my mentor, I loved you and I respected you, he was like, now I don't love you and I don't respect you no more. I don't do that anymore because you're a shallow man of yourself. You're not Ric Flair. You're not the dirtiest player of the game. You're not the same guy that taught me everything I know. You're a shell of your own man. You're a shell of your own self. He's just ragging on him. He was saying, hey, I know why. What you're doing, and what you're doing, what you're doing, and what you're doing with me. You want to hang on my coattails because I am the son you wish you had. I was like, oh Jesus. So he was saying that he doesn't need him anymore. He said he doesn't love him or he doesn't need him anymore because he's a liability. Because he's on this, he's on this road to be 14-time champion. So he's a liability, and he doesn't deserve. He can't have him messing up his um, his chance of being WWE champion again. So Ric Flair gets on the mic. He was like, "Man, it's nothing. It's not like that. It's like, yeah, do I like the spotlight? Yeah, do I like it's like I'm Ric Flair. I can't help but like the spotlight. But I was like, it's no ego with me. He was like, you're right. I'm the shell of my own man. I'm not Ric Flair no more. I'm not the limousine riding jet flying Ric Flair no more. He's like, I'm 81, 82 years old. Like only thing he's like, I'm here for my daughter. I'm here to back you up because I really believe that you're the best wrestler in the world in our generation, and I want to be there when you win your 14th championship, your 15th, your 16th, your 17th. I want you to break my record, not John Cena's record. No, that's my record. I want you. You're the one that I want to break it, and I think you deserve to break it. He was like, I just want to ride the coattails of Randy Orton, and doing all this stuff like that. So it was pretty emotional. He starts crying. He get a brother over here, start to tearing, and then Randy Orton, he hugs him, and as they're about to leave, boom, uppercut right in the nut sacks, and then he cradles him because Ric Flair is 900,000 years old and he can't really take any bumps, so he like cradled him like all the way up to the floor, and then placed him on the floor on the mat, and then I think he laid him on his stomach too, and he looks at him for a little bit, and then he goes to the corner. He's about to give him the punt kick, and I think he did it the first time where he normally does when he does the and he starts to do it. The lights turn out, but then they turned back on because he was still in the corner. So I think they thought that he was going to kick him that first time, but he was just still standing in the corner. And then when he runs and is about to do it again, they turn the lights off and they turn it back on because obviously he didn't really kick Ric Flair. It was just a ploy to make it pretend, just like the one thing where with the Batista thing where he had Ric Flair when he was when he was dragging Ric Flair, or no, he was dragging a cameraman, or he had Ric Flair. Like he wasn't really hurting Ric Flair because Ric Flair is 9,000 years old, so he can't really hurt him and stuff like that. But so he punt kicks Ric Flair. Drew McIntyre comes out, who also was there earlier because he was talking about his match with Randy Orton, saying that nobody liked him and he's gonna make a example out of him or whatever like that. So he comes out and that's how you end Raw. I was like, hey, and he was like, I'm gonna kick. He was like, I'm gonna whoop your ass for everybody. And back, he was like, even Rick, Randy. It's like you're dead at SummerSlam. So this is a match that man, this match and the Oscar Sasha match is two of the matches that you don't know what's gonna. It could go either way. Like Drew McIntyre can actually win and he can continue his reign, or Randy Orton could win and be 14-time world champion. It can happen. Same thing with Asuka. She can win back her championship, or Sasha can actually successfully defend the Raw Women's Championship because he hasn't done it at all. So that can those can both go either way. But overall, I give the show a B plus. I was flirting with the A minus because of this segment, the match with Sasha and I mean not Sasha, Bailey and Asuka. Uh, there's a lot of good stuff, but those were the two like major stuff. The retribution stuff was the Mickey James thing with Lana and Natalia was a thing. The Angelo Dawkins, Andrade, Bianca Belair, and Zelina, that stuff was pretty decent. It wasn't the best stuff because it was a tad bit sloppy, but it was still really good for what it was. But I think B plus is a very fair grade. B plus A minus, something in that area, leaning towards a B plus, but either one. But that's Raw. That was Raw. It was a little shorter because I took less notes and I didn't want to talk forever. So tell me how you think about this one. Prepared to see more videos like this because I think this is the move, and it's a little shorter for me too. That I don't have to keep looking at my notes and be like, and then she hit a triple double X handle kick with a spinny twisty twist. I don't have to do all that. I can just watch and enjoy and be like, oh, this is what, and just do that. So let me know, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff, and make sure you always and forever love each other. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.